What up, all? Total Control 871. Today we're going to do some headline news. For those of my newer subscribers, I do a segment called Headline News, where I basically just go over the headlines and I give my 2 cents on them. All right, starting today with something out of CBS 3 Philly. Governor Murphy. Apparently, Governor Murphy is shooting down any efforts of converting New Jersey to a state where you pump your own gas. Um, I heard a number of years ago that it has something to do with insurance. I really don't know. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be some big expert on the issue. Um, I really don't know if insurance plays a part of it or not. It might be automotive insurance, it might not be. From what this article says, that New Jersey is the lone holdout in all 50 states. I thought there were like maybe two other states. I thought there was a total of three, and New Jersey was one of the three. But from this report, it says that New Jersey is it's the last state in the union that does not allow their drivers to pump their own gas. um, Believe it or not, I've given some thought to this. Like I said, I really can't speak about the insurance angle. I can't help but wonder if it's in the same vein as gun laws, believe it or not, of all things. Your southern states, whatever it is you think of them and their gun laws, the fact remains, for multiple generations, hundreds of years, they've had these gun laws. Uh, they have grown up with them. So you can take the most uh, thug black person from a southern state, and you can take the most thug person from a northern state like uh, Michigan, New York, New Jersey. They're both thugs, both urban, but one is accustomed to the guns where the other one is not, and therefore the one that is unaccustomed to it, psychologically speaking, they probably would be more prone to uh, to 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 fucking up with the gun. Although if you're a thug, you're gonna fuck up with the gun anyway. Anyway, the point that I'm trying to make here is that would people end up blowing themselves up at the pump? Now, obviously, as New Jerseyans travel abroad and they go to these different states and they have to pump their own gas, we don't hear these stories of New Jerseyans blowing themselves up. However, at the pump. However, it's different when you're traveling as opposed to having to do it every single day. Like our honking Honda, they were in a rush to get to the pump. For for what reason I don't know, but yeah, early morning, you know, they haven't had enough nicotine, caffeine, enough sleep. Would New Jerseyans start fucking up after a while, and become negligent at the pump? Gas caps, not putting the thing back right, spilled fuel. I don't know. I really don't know if that would happen or not. Maybe Governor Murphy just doesn't want to be the transitional governor who has to deal with one. Could statistically speaking, would there be X amount of deaths incurred from making the switch? I don't know. Let's see. What else do we have here? We've got a few stories. Jussie Smollett. You guys saw me give him the. Well, I never really took a side. Although I did point out that if he fucked up, then he fucked up, real bad. 16 felony counts. When I heard that, I know it's been a while since I spoke about Smollett. I was shocked and floored. 16 felony counts. You know, um, I do agree that they egregiously overcharged Smollett. And I'm going to talk about this in just a second here. Smollett should not have been charged with that many. Smollett has a massive black eye, a massive blot on his reputation. Do I agree with the disposition of the case? This guy may have, I don't know. Prosecution never made its case, so I can't really say that he was guilty of something. There's all this secret, sealed away indictments that, so I really can't say. You guys know I'm a believer in the process of justice when it actually works. When it actually works. I don't believe that the Justice Department should have gotten involved for something like this, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. Smollett was overcharged, and he'll pay dearly with his career. I don't see Hollywood touching him anytime soon. And let's just go straight over to our adjacent story here. NBC News. A West Virginia mother who told police that she used a gun to thwart the abduction of her child by an Egyptian man has been charged with filing a false police report. Will this mother end up racking up 16 felony counts? You dig what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying here? I'm a believer in justice. Just as I don't think Smollett should have been let off the hook because of his celebrity status, I don't think he should be unduly prosecuted, maliciously prosecuted, because of his celebrity status. Granted, that does come with a caveat, because he is so high profile. When you, if you want to be he is himself a self-professed role model. So if you are this self-professed role model, high-profile figure, celebrity, then yeah, I think you do take on X amount of responsibility when you make these false police claims. This mother here, what the hell went on here? What the hell? I am losing. What the? This mother here is what do you call it? She is not high profile, so the kind of damage that she could do with her, although this Egyptian man apparently was thrown in a jail, and that's nothing to sneeze at, to snark at. Obviously, this woman has done a great deal of damage to somebody. So I believe the appropriate charges should be given to her. But we clearly see, because put it like this: if I was Smollett's defense attorney, one of the things that I would haul out in the trial is, let's take a look at the precedent set forth, case law already in existence. Who's filed false charges? Who's been charged? What have they been charged with? Is it as much as you're charging my client? Or, so why are you being so malicious in your charging? Kind of like that. Hold on a second here. Real spooky and weird. As I started this, mysteriously, I was logged out of Facebook. Dun, dun, dun. I tell you, these people, they watch me, the microphone. So could it be said that somebody government heard that I was doing a headline news segment and decided to make it more difficult? Maybe yes, maybe no. Hold on a second. Wow, 9 minutes already. All right, Pennsylvania legislators, they're introducing a law to remove guns from those who pose danger. How do you go about ascertaining who poses a danger and who does not? You hear about this type of law, either that law or one similar to it. Um, Here's the thing, and you guys know I'm not, I'm not a big Second Amendment proponent. I'm I view the Second Amendment as the dangling thread in the tapestry where if you pull it to snatch it off because you feel your tapestry is so beautiful, the Constitution so beautiful, except for that, that one little, if we could just snatch that off, unbeknownst to you, you begin to unravel the whole fucking thing. How do you go about ascertaining who's a threat to themselves? Now remember, this is a Minority Report, the movie Minority Report type scenario, type of law, where you punish and penalize people based on what you think they might do, not on what they've actually done. I've often wondered if these type of anti-gun people, and they are anti-gun. They say that they are not, and we don't want to take your guns away. I've listened to both sides of it long enough now. I do think that there is clearly an agenda by the far left to completely dismantle the Second Amendment. I truly do. If you put these kinds of laws into effect, you will add to, meaning, if I have a wife or even a husband, I suppose, we went to couples counseling. Would the counselor, you know, my spouse in what's brought up in the sessions, they shout at me sometimes, or maybe the husband gave the wife a hammerlock spin around, grab the upper arm and spin her around and yell at her. And it might not be all out fist pounding domestic violence. Point that I'm making is that is this the slippery slope where all of a sudden, the counselor by law, they gotta protect you and other people, and I have to report this now to the police and just to run your name to see if you are a gun owner, and if so, then they're going to need to come by your residence and collect those firearms. And what if you're following along here, people will not go and get therapy, whether individual therapy, couples counselor. You could very well indeed keep people away from medical care if you start these stigmas and stuff like that. It's a slippery slope. It really really is a slippery slope. I would caution you. Moving on, they're now talking about Biden, the Biden jokes. I got permission. I swear to God, the left, you guys. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck to tell you, man. You're just simply going to really self-destruct. I don't know. Maybe you do deserve Donald Trump. Maybe you should be punished with another 4 years of Donald Trump. I don't know. Moving on, safe injection sites. The only problem that I tend to get pissed off with the whole safe injection thing is that I've already said it before. Why is the decriminalization happening now that it's happening? Why it's impacting so many middle-class white people? Where was the decriminalization during the crack epidemic of the 80s and 90s? And there was a heroin epidemic in the 90s too for urban black people. Charles S. Dutton, HBO's The Corner, a very gripping miniseries. I think it won a few awards. I don't know if it won an Emmy or not, but very gripping series. But other than that, nobody really seemed to care. So let's see, what else do we got here? Moving on. ER visits reach record high. I bet they do. Like I said, I considered getting a chest x-ray, but for what? I don't have health insurance. One of the things that I am eagerly looking forward to, my portion, the rent situation, should I get an apartment that's affordable? If I can get help with utilities, that would be awesome, to the point where, dare I say, I might be able to finally buy into Part B of my Medicare. Um, Part A is free, but it doesn't come with any kind of a hospital, or you can't go see a primary and you can't get scripts with it. So there you go. But yeah, and to see a primary and purchase a separate script plan, it would be about $300, per month. So that's why I don't have it now. $300, that's a car note. That's why I ride a bicycle. I can't afford a car note. So but yes, with the rent situation taken care of, if I can get help with utilities, then yeah, I'd be looking to buy into Part B and get a script plan. So what can I say? One thing I'll also say about a lot of the topics that's going on with healthcare and housing, is it just me, or has everybody glossed over the fact that everybody's talking about how do we pay for it? How do we pay? How come nobody's talking about why does it cost that much to begin with? Okay? Why doesn't the government start cranking out housing that we can afford? I'll put it to you like this. I don't know how much time I got here, but as I was scouting around, looking for suitable places to set up shop, set up Camp Evergreen, one such place, believe it or not, it was in a wooded area, or what used to be a wooded area, very near Beacon Bicycling Shop, and that would have been awesome, bike shop right there in case anything happens. Without getting into too much detail, after assessing the area, I could tell that it was very soon to be developed, and it was indeed. Which takes me to my point here. I don't know if they're condos or apartments or what the deal is exactly, but all I know is that this complex, this development, went up in record time. I mean, like a Looney Tune cartoon, they just opened up a tube of Instant Home and squirt out a development, and poof, Insta Home. Like I got an Insta tent, Instant Home. It went up so incredibly fast. Now, whether these are condominiums that you purchase individually or whether they are rental units, whoever lives in them, they're going to spend the rest of their life paying that rent. If it is a condo, they're going to be into their senior years paying their mortgage. And then after that, you're going to have to pay association fees and any kind of property taxes that are associated with owning a condo. I don't know if property taxes are paid with condos. Maybe are, maybe not. I don't really know. But the point is that you have to spend so many decades paying for something that was built in the course of a winter, a summer. If our technology, if our ability to build has progressed to the point where it's no longer this monumental undertaking to create housing, then please explain to me, why the hell do we have to spend the entirety of our lives paying either rent or a mortgage? Explain this to me. Because there's so much talking about how do we pay for health care? How do we pay for housing? We want to house the homeless, but where are we going to get the money from? you are struggling. What hampers, what retards the efforts is the market price. Because, wherever it is that I end up going, the realtor, they're going to get their market money. Okay? One way or the other, they're going to get their market money. So from whatever funding source, my housing voucher comes from, this realtor, I mean, they might kind of like a Medicare or a Medicaid situation, how when doctors enroll in it, they agree to take maybe, a little less than what market value is, but it's a steady stream of, so they might, whoever it is that I rent to, the apartment might be $100 or $200 lower than what others might pay, but the point is that it's steady, guaranteed government money. So anyway, why is it that nobody wants to talk about creating housing that actually reflects its building costs? It didn't cost you that much to build this thing. We shouldn't have to spend the rest of our lives paying for it. I truly do believe that once my God, the albatross, the shackle, like fucking Jacob Marley, heaped and weighed down with chains, if we could just be fucking liberated, my God, what could it do to the economy? I really want to know, what could it do to the economy where suddenly, I mean, I haven't even begun to address the big auto thing, because big auto, they're another mass production, charging way too fucking much. But you know what? I'll put a pin in that argument today. Just the housing itself. Oh my God, how much more money? We wouldn't even need UBI. You know what I'm saying? Because UBI, that's another program that seeks to put more money into a person's pocket to give more money to the real estate oligarchy. And who are we kidding? At the end of the day, whether they find funding or not, it's the incredibly wealthy banking real estate oligarchy that ends up that much more rich, wealthy. It's just incredible. We can crank out these homes. There is more than enough room for it. Speaking of which, I want to show you guys something, because I'm switching gears now. Trump drawing down the gate. Let me check my time. 22. Trump bringing the roll gate down on America, saying that there's no more room. We can't take you. I'll give him benefit of the doubt and say that he does that he understands that's not literally what it is, but in relation to the immigrant situation and the homelessness situation, let me show you something that speaks to both. Hold on. What you're looking at is a screenshot. Again, apologies for the cracks to my phone screen up here. But this is a Landsat picture. The picture is real. It's of the Grand Canyon. The pile inside of it is not real. That is a computer-generated graphic. But do you want to know what the graphic is of? It's of people. Somebody posed the question on a science channel similar to Vsauce. This didn't come from Vsauce, but it was similar to a science channel like Vsauce, where somebody wanted to know, if you were to take all 7 billion people and put them into one spot, 7 billion people on Earth, Earth's human population, how much real estate would it take up? A lot of people, I myself, was thinking that it might take up one of our smaller states here in the U.S. No. I was shocked like hell to find out it brings into scope. It lets you know just how much room there is. That didn't, as we saw, it was a big ass pile. And I understand you can't pile people literally on top of each other. Were that to be done, obviously everybody inside the pile would be crushed to death. I get that. It didn't even fill the Grand Canyon. It put a big ass pile in it, but it didn't even fill the Grand Canyon, let alone the state that the Grand Canyon is in. People, there is more than enough room in America for not just your precious immigrants that the news, that corporate media just harps endlessly about, but there's more than enough room for us homeless people, us homeless American citizens. All you have to do is build the goddamn housing. What the fuck is the problem? They can bang they can bang out homes, complexes, whatever it is that you want. They can do it. Hell, they could probably do it even faster than what it is, because who are we kidding? I'm sure whoever built the shit was a union labor. They'll gold brick their ass like crazy. Even with union gold bricking, we see how fast it goes up. The homelessness epidemic is the biggest fucking joke, the biggest scandal. It doesn't have to be this way. I don't have to be in this tent. There is more than enough room out there for everybody. I'm going to talk more about the social disparity of wealth, because this thing goes deep. It goes very deep. It goes deep in a type of Illuminati type way, where powers that be go to great lengths to create social and economic classes. Hey, you. Okay. To keep you in check, I need to make this group even more poor than you are. Because once you get an understanding that you're okay, I'm not going to do it in this video, but speaking of Fareed Zakaria that I was singing the praises of, Fareed Zakaria had Sanjay Gupta on not too long ago, about 3 or 4 Sundays ago. They spoke very briefly about a scientific study that Sanjay Gupta had reported on involving monkeys. I don't know if they were rhesus monkeys, but those types of monkeys, small monkeys like that. The researcher were giving out little slices of cucumbers to 2 monkeys in a cage. Each had their own cage. And the monkeys are very keen, observational, and they're watching. They're watching who's getting what. Suddenly, the researcher starts handing out a grape, a sweet fruit, something that's more desirable than the slice of cucumber. When the monkey that kept getting fed the cucumber realized that they're not going to get any grapes, they started getting angry, mad, and throwing the cucumber slices back at the researcher. We see disparity. We see even a monkey can understand inequality. They're not getting what the other is getting. Now, I will also go on to say that there's that study. It's incredibly limited in scope, because I'll have to talk more about it. Because remember, what drives us is the jaws of poverty, the threat of death. Humans have evolved to be, masters of the land. We have weapons to even kill animals that would kill us. But apparently we have not evolved out of preying on each other, even if it's not in a cannibalistic way. It's financially. I need to hold you back to make others satisfied and in control. It's a diabolical system of control. I'll talk a whole lot hell of a more about it later on. But yeah, those are the topics we're going to cover for this edition of Headline News. Poverty doesn't have to be what it is. It is my belief that not just America, but the world is racing toward a massive epiphany where acquisition of items are no longer the driving force in your life. I had people complimenting the e-bike when I had it, Mitch's e-bike. Wow, that bike is awesome. It turned heads. I'm going to tell you that right now. People were fawning over it. It turned heads like you would not believe. But at the end of the day, when the repairs were done on the Black Rider, man, I was very anxious. Matter of fact, when I took the bike in, when I went to pick up the Black Rider, it was raining. Normally, I was like kind of like this close, like, it's raining. Not a hard rain, but it's drizzling, and it was between drizzling and a light rain, and it's like, then again, maybe I shouldn't have Mitch's bike out in the rain, and I didn't want my bike in the rain coming back, and I was so close to just calling and saying, can I pick it up the next day? But I was so anxious to get my bike back, my beloved Black Rider. It doesn't have a motor on it, but I don't want it to have a motor on it. This is what I want. There were many who, when I had the e-bike, may have thought that this bike is much better than the Black Rider. That's all depends on your own mindset. How I got here. Oh shit, I gotta go, 31, see you.